Well, howdy everyone. Another van update after a month. Better late than never, I guess. Had a chance to get quite a bit done in this month. I'll start here with my little kitchen island. I'll get to what's on top here in a second, but I'll start down here below. This is going to be the fill tube for my 10-gallon tank I got from Class A Customs. This little guy pops off here so I can fill it up with garden hose or like a fill bucket or something, depending on what I felt like using. And that there is a screen to connect a tube for an air release so that it can drain and fill a little easier. And this just goes down into a basic tube fitting. Goes through a little strainer to make sure no particles get into my pump. After it goes into the pump, it'll go through into this black Frizz Life filter. This guy's going to filter out any sort of basic stuff before it goes up into the main faucet for hand washing and dishwashing. Then I got a secondary filter that'll filter it one more time before it'll go up into a secondary faucet up there for drinking water. This is the underside of my little stove. Right now on natural gas, but I'm going to convert it to propane so I can put a little propane tank kind of in this area here. So this will all move over to the side. That's a 6-gallon tank I'm going to be using for my gray water. That's coming out of this little guy connected to the sink, runs through this little tube down into here. And then I got a secondary little container either for filling or just as a backup 3 gallons if I'm out boondocking for a long period of time. I also added a little extra sheet of vinyl down here just to protect the floor from water in case there was any small leaks. I'd have a little bit longer to figure it out before any sort of major problems got started. So go ahead and hop up in here. You can see I got this whole area filled in, but I'll start over here with the kitchen island, finish up with that first. So this is going to be the stove I was talking about. Leave the plastic film on for now just to kind of protect it from all the wood dust and things, and I'll remove it later. But it's going to have 2 burners for the propane stove, so I'll have a nice little cooktop here. And here's a large stainless steel tub sink, nice and deep to fit any of the dishes that I don't want to do when I'm on the road, so I can put it off as long as possible. Here's the small drinking water faucet and the larger big faucet for the other stuff like I mentioned. I'll go ahead and turn them on, but unfortunately this pump is a little bit loud, so I'll start with the drinking water. Had a little bit of pressure left in the line. That comes out. Pretty solid stream for the drinking water. Open up that guy for the main water. This isn't as steady of a stream, but still plenty for what I want to do. Go ahead and turn that off. Close that up. Here I have this handmade butcher block countertop I made with the help of one of my friends. I made it out of walnut, cherry, and maple. So it looks really, really nice. I also made a cutting board and a fitting that'll fit on top of here so I can actually make it a whole countertop as well. Really pleased with how that came out. Turning around back here, I got to the little countertop and fridge area I was talking about in my previous video, and my trash bag. This here is currently just used for storage. I'll have to get to it later. That's eventually going to become like some countertops and things. I got just some trash and things down there right now. Here I have the Costway fridge I mentioned, and I have built these little folding countertops with piano hinges. So this one folds down like this, and I just have a towel here to protect the mahogany countertop. Here's that mahogany countertop I had mentioned previously. Came out really nice. I have to polish it up a little bit, but no sense doing that while it's still in construction. But does look really nice. I'm happy with how it turned out. This one flips up as well. Can lie flat, and this can actually go over on top of that if I needed to. Oh, towel got in the way. If I needed to do something on both sides at once. That there is to connect to the toilet lid. I'll show you in a minute. But here I got the fridge. Can open it up. Don't got anything in there right now, but got it on nice and cool. Just keeping it running to kind of keep a strain on the battery so it's still charging and not just left full. And also so that I can put water and things out here when I'm working. So I can flip this back. Put this one back over the fridge. Also still can leave my seat back pretty far and can actually scoot it back all the way in. Nice thing. I can even open up the fridge a little bit without having to move the countertop and reach my arm in there if I have to. Down here, like I mentioned, this is going to be a pull-out kind of a drawer area for lots of bigger, heavy things. So maybe like pots, pans, that kind of sort. So I don't have to get off the cupboards and have the weight cause an issue. And I got this little side space over here I use for storing my sunshades whenever I am driving or not needing them up at the time. And then coming over here, Flip up this fella again, back on top of the countertop. Move this, and this is actually going to be my composting toilet. So this little thing will have a pillow on top, so I have a nice sitting area, but this can be removed to reveal the toilet space. So this space here is gonna be kind of my bathroom. Apologies, holding the phone with one hand, trying to do everything. It's not gonna be the best video, but I at least wanted to share a little. So this opens up, nice bucket down there. Nothing fancy, but hey, you gotta do what you gotta do in a van. So that just kind of looks like a normal, kind of standard toilet, but it can lift up. And then locks in here so I don't get hit in the head. I got hit in the head too many times. Bought that the same day and fixed that issue. So here I've got my nice 2-gallon pee jug. You know, you got to do what you got to do in a van. Same with the bucket. This is going to be a composting bucket. I'll have wood shavings and peat moss down there. And then this will be connected to a funnel system up here in the front so I can separate urine from solid waste. And then I'll hook up some sort of thing so that it could be female friendly if I have a guest, because currently it's equipped only for male anatomy. Here I also have a little fan exhaust system that I designed with this little pipe and a computer fan that pulls the air out through a little vent I'll show on the other side. Just this little switch right here. That turns it on. Nice little air pull out, so if I hit up Taco Bell one night and need to use my facilities, it doesn't ruin the entire van for a couple of days. So that's a nice little addition. Only costs about 15 bucks to build the whole thing. And really close because it's right next to the battery, so not a lot of wiring either. So that gets slipped off. And then I just pull this little guy again. And that goes right back down. And then I can put that lid back on top and I have a little sitting area. It's a little tight with this guy here, but even I can fit. So anytime anybody shorter than 6'3" can fit, no problem. So this little door blocks my battery compartment. That opens up. So now I've got a nice little double entry into here. I've since drilled a few air holes to kind of give some better air circulation. Also lightens it up a teeny bit, but mostly it's just to give it the airflow that I needed it to have, because it's just getting a little too hot, a little too stuffy back there for the batteries, and I didn't want that to be an issue. I also added a little light. Got some nice LEDs up there. Real basic guys, only like $1 each, but they work great for lighting up small areas. I also added a fan switch here, and that controls a fan that I'll show you in a sec, right in this area that pulls air for the batteries, because the batteries are under here, and I didn't want them to get too warm, and it's since reduced the average temperature of the batteries by about 10 degrees Celsius. So it's been really successful at helping cooling them down and keeps any issues from popping up. So then I will hop around and show you that fan in the back. So that's this little vent right here. The batteries are behind this and the air is getting pulled out. Really successful at keeping those batteries cooler. Using the same fan I used in the toilet exhaust system. I think they cost like $8, so they weren't too bad as far as cost for those fans. I'm also adding lighting for those same lights back here. I'll go to a little switch over there so I can light up my back compartment. This here is a failed project of building a pressure tank into the water line. Too much work, too much cost, ended up not doing it. So now I have to dismantle that, which was gonna be a tank storage area. And now it's just gonna add larger space for the understorage garage sort of area. And then one last thing before I finish up the video, because that's kind of the end of it. I'll show you the outer vent. This is the one for the toilet exhaust, right next to the port that is for my shore power. That little plug right there, and that little vent right there. Well, that's just about everything I've had a chance to do in the last month. Van's really starting to come together and finally actually starting to look like a house. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys again soon.